Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at www.beautyprofessor.net. I had intended on doing a November favorites video, but I fear it's so late in December at this point that the November favorites video might feel mournfully outdated. So instead, I've opted to do a products on heavy rotation for the latter half of November and of course first part of December. And these in most cases are new product discoveries that have seamlessly integrated themselves into my regular routine. And so I've handpicked some items that I'm adoring in the skincare realm, the makeup brush realm, the base and complexion realm, of course, a bit on the eyes, and then as always I will end with lips. On an entirely unrelated note, completely isolated from makeup, I wanted to just mention that I am quite excited about the installment of a Dunkin' Donuts here in Southern California. So today I'm drinking a sugar cookie latte. I know, a great afternoon snack for sustenance. But I would love to hear what your favorite things are at Dunkin' Donuts, because I know that this stop this afternoon will definitely not be my last. Now that I am wildly caffeinated, let's begin with skincare. So first off, I want to mention the Radical Skincare Instant Revitalizing Mask. I've had quite a foray into this line recently, and it's something that's available at Sephora and at Barney's New York, Space NK, and this mask is exceptional on so many levels. First off, it comes in a bottle that might be reminiscent for some of you to the Tom Ford foundation bottle. Just the top part, of course, is what reminds me of it. It does make for a really clean lock, which makes it excellent for travel. The mask itself is foamy, so you put some on your skin. It looks like a gel or a cream, but when you put it on the skin, eventually it kind of puffs up because it's filled with oxygen, and it turns into a foam. I think you can see that happening. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Eventually your face looks pure white as the bubbles are drenching your skin with oxygen, and then they start to pop, and by the time they've all popped, about 5 minutes later, your skin is ready to have the mask removed, and it feels really balanced, hydrated, bright, glowy, just gorgeous. I just did another round of this. It's kind of addicting last night after a super long work day, and I'm just really pleased with the effects it's having on my skin. I'm going to be trying out some more Radical products, and I'll weigh back in on those soon enough. But in the meanwhile, I had to mention this mask. It's completely a sensory experience, but also, of course, an effective one for one's skin. Next up is the SK2 Illumination Aura Bright. I've already done a preliminary review of this on my blog, and I definitely use it heavily through November and certainly currently through December here. This is a brightening serum, and I've really been pleased with the SK2 products I've tried thus far. The facial essence is definitely a regular part of my routine. But this Aura Bright does truly have a brightening effect. A lot of my readers have also let me know that they use this and are really pleased with it as well, because it gives them kind of a lit from within look, and I find that to be the case. There is no obvious shimmer or glitter, so it's really relying on just nourishing your skin to give that outer glow and balancing things nicely. Comes with a drop applicator, and there is kind of an iridescence without being a shimmer in the formula that is aligned with the beauty of the bottle. But when I put it on my skin, I don't really see that. All I see is glow. So it's gorgeous as a base, a skincare base. I only use it in the daytime, and I am loving the effects so far. I'll look to using this further for the cumulative effect. In this case, might entail more brightening of the skin, more clarification, which is definitely the goal of the SK2 line. And this is a great kind of entryway product for somebody looking to try the SK2 line with a single item, because it works so well with your existing routine. For moisture, I've been working with Hydroluron. This is a small tube, and I've kept it in my purse. It can be used as a facial moisturizer, and really I'm kind of normal to combination, so I don't need a lot of moisture in the day, especially if I've got a primer and a good foundation on. But I will say that I love this for any moments when you might want to just tap in a little moisture into your face if you're feeling dry or fatigued. It's great on extremities, your elbows, anywhere where you're feeling dryness. There is a high concentration of hyaluronic acid in here, and that's what makes it feel very cushiony and nourishing to the skin. It actually attracts water to the skin to trap it in there and keep you feeling plump and moisturized. So I think this is a great just overall moisturizing, hydrating product, and because it's small enough to just toss in my purse, I love knowing it's there for moments when unexpected itchiness or dryness occurs and you just want to remedy that immediately. I also love putting this on my lips when my lips are dry and I don't have any lip product on. You can just tap a little bit into the lips for a really plumped, nourished look. It's not sticky, it's almost like a gel. So that's the Hydroluron. The By Terry Dawn Soleil's primer is something I discussed, I think, in one of my most recent videos, and I've been using it ever since procuring it in the middle of last month. This primer is exceptional for just creating a smooth, poreless base for foundation. I've been wearing it every day. I put it on after whatever skincare I'm using, whether it be the Aura Bright by SK2 or something similar, and then I follow with my La Métier de Beauté Peau Vierge, which is a non-negotiable, and then I follow with this. And truly, it just completely banishes pores. So your skin is just like porcelain before you put foundation on, and it stays in place all day. I love that this is infused with anti-aging benefits, and it's a beautiful formula, well worth the investment, and every reader I've had who has tried this has echoed my rave review of this particular formula. Onward to a product that doesn't quite fit into any of the major categories I discussed at the start of this video, and that would be fragrance. I am talking about the Balenciaga Paris. It's the B fragrance, B, capital B period. B. Very definitive, very succinct. At any rate, this is new for me. I received this in early December, and oh my goodness, it smells amazing. I mentioned before that I am not by any means a fragrance aficionado. I know there is a list of terms, jargon if you will, that's appropriate to describe fragrance, and often I'm just like, it smells really good, or it's sweet or floral, and I apologize for the lack of kind of deep lexicon when it comes to fragrance, but truly, this smells amazing. It is a sweet floral, incidentally, and it has a warmth to it that I think works really nicely in cooler months. I feel like there's an element of gardenia and definitely kind of a creamy, musky warmth, but it is a little more floral, more aligned with, say, the Tom Ford Velvet Orchid than other fragrances I gravitate towards that are more oud or musk, like Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, which is something I completely emptied out my bottle of. So it's a little more floral than that, but I purposely don't like to read about the notes because then I feel like I'm just reiterating what I've just read. So I'll just say it's got some gardenia, a little bit of what I might sense as rose, a creaminess, a slightly muskiness, where thyme is exceptional, and when I sniff at it, it just makes me happy. So if you haven't tried it, get a sample. I implore you to get a sample. I really like it. It's delicious. For brushes, I just want to talk about one set, a travel set that I'll be discussing further on my vlog. It is the Jenny Patikin Travel Brush Set. I have talked about the Jenny Patikin brushes in previous videos. Jenny Patikin is an amazing makeup artist and creator from the Chicago area, and just a really knowledgeable person when it comes to beauty. And she created this travel set. I love the fact that Jenny's brushes have this kind of cup option. This is a smaller travel size container, but they lock together, or you can leave them side by side for traveling or even at home to just let them rest. But should you be concerned about your brushes getting dusty, you can put the top back on again. This particular set comes with a brush cleaner and of course the beautiful white container, and then it's gold and white as a theme. We have the all-over face brush, which is a mini version of her classic sized all-over face brush, but I do think that the surface area of this brush is about the same. So you get great stippling action for a seamless, flawless foundation finish or powder finish. Works for everything. Also, there's an itty bitty little pinpoint liner for cream liner or powder liner to really get into the lashes. There is a all-over eye brush, domed, fluffy, dense, soft, beautiful, right in here. And then finally, the multi-blender. I use her regular size multi-blender like crazy every day to blend in concealer. It just seamlessly makes the under eye region look right. These are what I would consider greatest hits for Jenny's Boutique. I love that they all come in the travel kit, and I will make sure to link to it. I've been very judicious about selecting eye products, and I'm only going to talk about 3. Certainly, I've encountered well more than 3 that I have loved in the last month or so, but I'm picking 3 to focus on because other favorite eye products are also on my blog. One is the Clé de Peau Beauty Eye Color Quad in number 303, which is a beautiful blush nude collection of shades. You have kind of like a champagne taupe right here, a very light highlighting shade that's a pink toned beige, this beautiful dark taupe with a little bit of rosy leaning, and then a bronze meets rose gold meets brown shade. All of these shades are completely in my wearability family. I gravitate towards these shades all the time. I accidentally had a brush get caught in here. It wasn't closed completely and it smashed the beauty of these cubes. I apologize for the eye travesty, but the shadow itself is meant to be worn, and so I'm wearing it right now. Hopefully the camera picks that up. I think the Clé de Peau powder eyeshadow formula is beautiful because it truly wears all day. I don't wear it over primer, and I don't have any issues with creasing or flaking or smudging. And it just is blendable, it's silky soft, it's pigmented, and this shade 303 is a dream for those of us who love nudes and taupes and soft roses to kind of make a subtle neutral eye that is wearable for everyone. Products in the eye category are brow related. One is the Surratt Beauty Expressionist eye pencil. It's retractable, it's refillable. I wear it in the shade brunette. I know I've discussed it before, but as a pencil goes, it's just amazing because you have this very precise pinpoint tip that yields just the right amount of color when you're in a hurry. And I just kind of go through my brows, brush it through to shape it, to add some depth and some dimension. I'm not particularly thorough about filling my brows because they're relatively natural and thick to begin with, but I love to use this to just define the shape a little bit. And then the By Terry Eyebrow Mascara, also a product I know I've discussed before. It truly looks like eyebrow mascara. A tiny little brush reminiscent of the Surratt Releve mascara brush. It lets you really get in there, but instead of putting it on your lashes, you put it on your brows and you can just brush it through. It tames them, it grooms them, it gives them a nice dark finish that's not too dark, and I love just the overall effect. It's also great for midday touch-up. If you need to groom the brows to make yourself look more awake, this can be done very quickly in front of a small mirror. While I'm on the subject of mascara, I will say I did want to mention that my latest piece for the Neiman Marcus blog is live. I will link to it below. I'm a contributing writer, beauty writer for the Neiman Marcus publications, and my most recent piece on mascara wardrobing is live. So I'm really excited about the piece. It talks about different mascaras for different life situations, and fortunately we're blessed with a myriad of options when it comes to mascara these days. So I break down at least 5 of my favorites for varied situations. If you take a peek, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you, even on the Neiman Marcus blog where I can monitor comments as well. On to my last 2 categories, complexion and then lips, which in turn are my favorites. I'm only going to discuss 2 foundations. I've tried many more than 2 foundations over the last month, but these 2 foundations have really stood out in different ways. The first is the Shuamura Light Bulb Foundation, and this is the Oleopact. It's a cream. I ordered it from Harrods online from the UK. It's got this domed brush, and I know I discussed it in my foundation video, so I'll link to that video for more details. I've also used it in quite a few blog posts recently, but you can see I've made a little dent in the cream. I'm wearing it today, and I applied it 10 hours ago, and it's still intact. I haven't touched up with this one time. I love how the finish looks about a minute after application. Medium coverage, very natural, and 564 medium light sand is my spot on match for NC 23 to 25 skin. So can't say enough good things about this, and I'll link to other posts where I discuss this more extensively. Then there's the Kate Somerville Illumicate CC Cream. So this is kind of a lighter and more casual foundation option with quite remarkable coverage. The Kate Somerville line, many people associate that strictly with skincare. She has a gorgeous skincare line with a cult following for many of her products, from Exfoliate to her Illumicate products. And I will say specifically, the Illumicates also have color infused. So there's an under eye concealer, and the CC cream acts much like a foundation. I have it in shade 3, which is light medium, and I think it's great for skin in just that, the light medium range. It doesn't have a pink undertone, it's more of a neutral to yellow, which works for many of us. And it offers an illuminating, yet not overly dewy or glowy finish to the skin. Really natural, really healthy. It isn't infused with skincare benefits. Has a very subtle kind of fresh scent and beautiful wear. So I love this for more casual moments when I'm not ready to put on a full foundation, because it still evens everything out and makes the skin just look really naturally pretty. And I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've tried this particular CC cream. It's definitely one of my favorites. For powders, I have been using a lot of the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau powder, and I wear it in shade 3, which is perfect for my skin. It's natural beige. Comes in quite a hefty compact here with a generous mirror. It's a foundation powder, but I find that it's sheer enough to be worn as a touch-up powder or a setting powder. And shade 3 is great for NC 23-25 skin. Sometimes the shade 3 in the Guerlain foundations is a little darker than that, closer to NC 30. But the powder itself, and I've read this on more than one occasion, runs a bit light, so 3 is great for those of us who might normally wear a 2 in the Guerlain. So the powder itself, finely milled, vanishes shine, deposits a bit of beige color to even things out, and just wears so close to the skin that it essentially fuses, like that whole idea of the skin lingerie. And I really love it. Speaking of powders I've been enjoying, there is the Jouer Luminizing Brightening Powder. My goodness, this is a diminutive little container, but it holds a beautiful powder that's kind of a peach pink champagne tone. It does have some opacity. I mean, that's a heavy swatch, but I love to put it kind of in this area here, and hopefully as I'm losing light but still having light on my face, it's capturing the luminosity. This is a very restrained illuminator. It doesn't have obvious shimmer, and yet it really brightens up the face, and because it has a peach apricot undertone, I think that brightening effect, which counteracts darkness, is even more evident. It will mitigate shine just slightly, but really it's more for illumination, for brightening, for glow, and yet all the while happening on a very subtle, sophisticated level. Beautiful recent release from Jouer. For cheeks, 2 products, the Burberry Sheer Blush. Gosh, I've read about this for a few years now, and it's been available and then not available in the market, but I finally was able to try it last month, and I love it. It's such a beautiful contour. It's not too dark. It, I think, works for a host of skin tones, and I just love wearing it as a contour in this area around my face. But also, you can add it on your cheeks later on in the day for a little bit of color. All the while, it's very natural. Finely milled, agrees with sensitive skin, just a beautiful product, truly lives up to everything I read about it. Get your hands on this if you can. Also, there's the Napoleon Paradis Greatest Hits Cheek Palette. And I'm not usually one for palettes. I like them in moderation, but I don't go crazy for them. This one is quite amazing. It's got 2 highlighters, a golden based one and more of a rosy iridescent pink, a pink blush, a peachy blush, a golden based contour slash bronzer, and a rosy neutral contour slash bronzer. All of these shades are finely milled. They blend onto the face like a dream. I'm actually wearing a combination of these 2 contour shades today, as well as a bit of the peachy blush and a touch of the illuminator from much earlier on in the day. Also, as palettes go, it's small, and I like the fact that you're using more than one shade in the palette at any given moment, because you've got the highlighting, contouring, and pop of color option here. I think this would work with a myriad of skin tones, and just as a blush palette goes, couldn't be happier. And finally, the Le Métier de Beauté Peau Vierge Light Pen. It's really like light in a pen. It's that classic click pen, and I have quite a few click pens in my rotation that I adore, but gosh, the Peau Vierge one stands out because it's like an illuminating version of the Peau Vierge, and this is in shade 2, which I think will work for most light medium skin tones. You can use it because it's infused with skincare benefits. Use it to brighten, to highlight, to tighten, to refine and smooth. It's just a jack of all trades. And this is a very recent release from Le Métier de Beauté. I'm typically over the moon for all of their releases, and this is no exception. And I love the fact that it's just so multitasking. It's in my makeup bag all the time. And finally, as my outdoor window light is coming to a dramatic close, goodbye day, hello evening, I want to talk about 4, yes, just 4 lip products. And they are as follows. I'll talk about them in order of when I procured them. The first is the By Terry Velvet Rouge lip color. I think I talked about this in a past video. I've since had weeks to try it and still adore it. It's been in my purse constantly. This is in shade 1, which is Lady Bear. And this is an opaque, pigmented, creamy, gorgeous, semi-matte cream lip color that just brings out the best in a nude lip. So I have swatches of every Velvet Rouge formula on my blog. I will link to it. But if you're a nude lover, I highly suggest you start with this one. You will not regret it. I want to talk about the Surratt Lip Luster. And in this case, I picked it up in Charmante. I know this is French and I'm probably butchering it right now, so my deepest apologies. But the shade itself needs very little linguist explanation. This is a peachy pink cream, no shimmer, a bit of tack to stay on the lips. And that's what I love about the Surratt glosses, is they're just slightly tacky enough to stay in place, but not overtly sticky or obnoxious. And this Charmante, or Charmant, maybe it's like that, gloss is just beautiful for making your lips look juicy, healthy. It's kind of like a peachy cantaloupe, and there is a decent amount of pigmentation for being a gloss. Charmant, I'm sticking with that, is a welcome addition to my Surratt collection, and you can get this at Barney's, which is where I picked mine up. Finally, I have 2 Tom Ford Lips and Boys releases to show you. I will put swatches on the blog post that will also have this video, and I'll link to that. I picked up Flynn, which is a creamy, cool baby pink with some pearlescence, not really obvious shimmer. I'm wearing it right now, so you get a good sense of what Flynn looks like on the lips. I also ordered Luca, which is an apricot peachy pink, a little more sheer than Flynn. Once again, I'll feature swatches of that on my blog when I link to it below. But it is lovely in its own right. I feel like these are different lip colors. Of course, all of us, with the exception of those who might have had an early preview, ordered these sight unseen, just looking at pictures. And I feel like I chose well with these 2, Flynn and Luca. They're small, but not too small. I find that they nestle really well in my purse, and so I'm thankful for that. I also have a few other shades on their way, Julian and Colin, and I believe one more. I have to look back. I know I ordered 5. But Flynn and Luca have been a pure delight for me, especially as a pinky peach nude lip lover. I find that both of these shades do not have any kind of equivalent in the Tom Ford existing permanent shade line. They're very different, and for that I feel like I made a worthy investment. They will be available again on the day after Christmas, December 26th. I'm sure we'll all be writing about that then, and perhaps I'll pick up a couple more. If you picked up any Lips and Boys, I'd love to hear what shades you picked and how you feel about them. But as I've said, Flynn and Luca, beautiful additions to my Tom Ford collection. And so concludes my products on heavy rotation for the second half of November and first part of December. Nothing like a succinct title to really draw you in, right? At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what products have been catching your eye as of late. And I hope that your December thus far has been magnificent. Thank you so much for being a supportive community of beauty lovers right along there with me. It's always such an encouragement to read your comments, and I appreciate the time that you invest in watching my videos and reading my blog posts. Truly, from my heart, thank you. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and as always, don't forget to visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at www.beautyprofessor.net. Take care.